Hi, welcome back. Before we continue with the Amazon AI bot, we need to learn how to optimize ChatGPT for coding tasks. ChatGPT is a powerful tool for generating code, solving problems, and even debugging. By using specific techniques, you can make your interactions with ChatGPT more efficient and productive. So, I have 7 tips to use ChatGPT more efficient when we're coding. Tip number 1 is we need to be clear and specific in our prompts. What I mean by that, when asking anything ChatGPT to generate or explain code, clarity is key. The more detailed your prompt, the better the response. For example, let's just run this code to set up our environment. We did this in the previous videos. Here, as you can see, this is our API key, and we're creating a client, and we have some example prompt. So we will be asking something about something. We'll be asking about anything. So the more detailed our response, our prompt, the better the response will be. So what I mean by that, let me just give you an example of a two-way example. So this one, for example, write Python code for a web scraper. Okay. Oops. Alright, typo is not that important because it's also correcting the grammars. So as you can see here, writing a web scraper in Python can be achieved using libraries like requests or making HTTP requests for Beautiful Soup from BSRB. So it choose to continue with Beautiful Soup. It can be also done with another libraries. As you can see, we have some codes and stuff. But if we want to get a more detailed and better response, we need to make it more clear for the model. What I mean by that is let me just show you guys how to make it more understandable and more clear for the model. So write Python code, okay, Python code using Beautiful Soup, which is one of the best libraries to scrape anything, scrape data, scrape the title and price from a product page on Amazon. Okay, so this is more specific about what we want, and we also mentioned the libraries here. Beautiful Soap is one of the best libraries, and we also gave our purpose of the scraping. We need to take the title and price from the Amazon page. Okay, so let's just see. All right, as you can see here is also we have warning against the terms, and furthermore we have sophisticated measures to block scraping attempts and us blah blah blah. However, if you're permission to scrape for a data different website, I will have to help. So this is, as you can see, more detailed and the better response. As you can see, we have the title and price, and we have some classes. For example, whenever you got a soap of HTML, we're basically parsing the website and collecting everything, what's in the website background, like HTML codes and some HTML elements like classes, span classes, some other like HTML classes that I don't know so detailed. But we can find the class, for example. Let me just give you an example. Okay, this is our example here. So once we right click here and inspect, we'll be seeing some HTML code in the background of this website. Boom. So this is the code of this website. And once we look at the price section here, right click and just inspect. So we can see a span class named a price hole. As you can see, we're selecting this element here and just pasting the code that ChatGPT just gave us. Here, as you can see, for example, it gave us product price, but on the other hand, like in reality, we have a price hole. It's just right now, ChatGPT gives us some predictions about what can it be in the background in the website for the price tag, okay? But we found the price tag is actually a class named a price hole. All right, We'll be also modifying it to make it capable to get to give us what exactly we want. All right, this is number one. This level of specificity helps ChatGPT understand exactly what you need. All right, let's just continue with the tip number two. We need to break down complex tasks. For example, for more complex coding tasks, we need to break them into smaller parts. This allows ChatGPT to focus on each step individually, ensuring better accuracy. For example, instead of asking ChatGPT to build a machine learning model, you need to break it down into steps like loading and cleaning the data, splitting the data into training and testing sets, creating a model with a scikit-learn library, for example, and last but not least, evaluating the model. Instead of asking like create an entire machine learning model, you need to break it down into smaller steps to make ChatGPT understand in a proper way, in a better way. For example, instead of asking, for example, like create a web scraper for Amazon, you need to break it down to create a script that scrape the data and store in a CSV file. Okay. Once we scrape the data, now we are ready to ask something specific about the product. For example, we get the data. This was a step one. And right now we're ready to ask for price tag. Okay. So we will be asking and giving some context about the price. For example, from this CSV file that we get in the previous step, which contains a lot of information about this website, like the whole code. For example, we scrape the whole code here. And once we get that, we're going to ask about the price. While we're doing this, we need to also give some related context in the prompt to reduce the hallucination, kind of like RAG application we're creating. So here, as you can see, the price fraction, we will be giving our price decimal, and whole section we can also be giving to the model to make it great, to make it able to give us great responses. So we will be giving like, this is our span class where price is injected or just ingrained in the HTML code. So we'll be giving also, this is my span class, just to scrape it and give me as a new column in a new CSV file. So we're just breaking it down into smaller steps. Okay. This was tip number two. And let's just continue with the tip number three, prepared for you guys. So, which is, we need to use completion and refactoring. ChatGPT can assist with code completion and refactoring, which we're doing right now. Here, as you can see, we're actually generating some code, not the completion, but we can also ask some completions. For example, if you have partially reading function, you can ask ChatGPT to finish or make it more efficient. For example, let me just give you an example of any code. All right, I just write it down. As you can see, this is my list number one. It's an example code to make it to upgrade with ChatGPT. So this is our list number one, which is basically numbers, and we have the empty list, and we're just going over the numbers elements of this list and adding just one, and appending adding the new variables in the empty list and just printing it for final. So we can give this code to ChatGPT to make it more efficient, because it's not efficient. As you can see here, we can make this actually whole action in one line, maybe. Let's just ask ChatGPT to optimize it. All right. Optimize and refactor it to be more efficient. Let me just give you, all right, I gave the code. So let's just ask it and see what's going to happen next. All right. So it gave me this. Here's the refactored code. This is our code. Let's just try it and see. And by the way, what is our result? Okay. And see, it is more efficient. It is way concise than the older version and more compact. Here, as you can see, we've done the exact same action within the 3 lines instead of like 6 lines. Great. That is beautiful. So this approach can help optimize your code or clean up for readability is also great. All right, let's just continue with the tip number 4, which is debugging assistance. If you like encounter an error in your code, ChatGPT can help identify to help troubleshoot the issue. Using ChatGPT for debugging, you can follow to these steps to make it. I wrote it down actually for you guys. So you need to be explicit about the error or issue you're facing. Include error message. Include everything that can be related to error message, or describe the behavior you're encountering. For example, let me just give you okay. This will work. I'm gonna just do a simple syntax, okay? So list 13 is not defined. So it can be more a complex code than that because it's an example, but whenever you give something to ChatGPT to debug, you need to include everything that can be related to error. So in this case, I will be taking everything in my output cell and just giving to ChatGPT. You can also use the traditional ChatGPT here. This is my error here, and this is my code. Let me just paste this code here. All right. As you can see, it's giving us two different responses to choose one of it. I think that one explains better. All right, let's just copy the code and paste it right over here. Oops. Yeah, it works now. So it can be a more complex than that, but that was just an example, as I said. But you need to give everything. You need to give everything in your output to ChatGPT. Give as much as context as possible about the error to make it more efficient to debug your code. So then you can also ask for improvements. We also did that in the previous step, but we can also do some. Is there? You can easily ask improve it. You can improve the code by just list comprehensions. Yeah, this response is the exact same response that we took from the API. You just can see almost the same. Since the task is just basic, like the responses will be also almost the same. Okay, another tip will be generate some documentation. For example, you have a complex code snippet, or you're just teaching someone Python to beginner, okay? And you can ask, can you add comments to explain each step? Oops, explain each step to make it more understandable for my students. For example, if let's just say I'm teaching some Python to a beginner, and there you go. We have some great explained comments, and now it's more understandable for someone who doesn't know to code in Python. Initial list containing numbers from 1 to 10, empty list storing modified values, loop through each element in the list 1, etc. This function also works for complex codes. I'm also using at my work to make it more understandable for my colleagues and stuff. Yeah. And you can also, the other tip will be generate test cases. You can also create some unit test cases and stuff. Just ask, generate the test cases. Oh, it's my second account, by the way, where I don't have any plus account for my OpenAI. It shows its pop-ups warning. So we have some also tests. Wow, that looks That looks crazy, man. Who needs a test for a simple code? But all test cases passed. You can also create some tests with ChatGPT. You can leverage it to create almost everything that can relate to your code. All right, let's just continue with the next one, which is explore different libraries and approaches. For example, if you're not sure which library to use or how to approach a problem, ChatGPT can suggest alternatives. This is especially helpful when you want to compare different approaches or learn new tools. For example, we're building also web scrapers. So you can ask ChatGPT, like, I want to build a web scraper. Should I use Beautiful, Soap, or Scrappy? So ChatGPT can easily outline the pros and cons of each approach, helping you make informed decisions. And like I said before, to optimize the ChatGPT for all of these kind of tasks, you need to be clear, as much as clear as you can, and be clear and specific with your prompts. And for example, you need to explain it step by step to make it understand better. Yeah, these are the golden rules to optimize ChatGPT and leverage ChatGPT while you're coding. So with these strategies, you can enhance your coding workflow, making it faster and more efficient. That was it for this video, and see you in the next one. Bye.